Hey, what's up? It's Sherwin's MMA. I'm here with Canon Swanson, making a fight on April 17th, getting ready. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man.
That's good to know. You're getting prepared for another matchup. You're going against somebody who's undefeated, um, similar record to yours, you know. How does that feel, with that mindset, knowing somebody on the other side has similar record as you, just kind of, different circumstance?
Yeah, my guy Quentin, he's an undefeated amateur and pro. So like he's 11-0 in his martial arts MMA journey. I think he's got a few kickboxing fights too and jiu-jitsu matches. So I don't think he's lost, which is honestly that's why I love this fight. And it goes back to my previous four opponents, including Quentin. Their pro and AMI records together have been 27-0.
Yeah.
So it's an honor to fight these guys who are, undefeated and looking to push me.
Okay. And going into you're riding a 4-fight win streak right now, very strong. How are you feeling, heading into this matchup?
This has been, I feel great. This camp has been something like really special with the team at the academy. I feel like as a team we bonded and hit like a new level. Like everyone has leveled up
Yeah.
recently. Got a couple guys on the team. Gunnar Nelson, he's making his amateur debut. Um, and my number one training partner Noah Gasho is also fighting on this card, and we got John Castaneda fighting in the UFC the day after. So
Hmm.
like we got like four of us in a camp um, all together, and this past 6 to 9 weeks of training have been absolutely amazing.
Okay, for sure. And mentally, so far in your career, where do you feel, you've grown the most as a pro?
Um, I mean that's making strides on that every day, but definitely my confidence and my mental fortitude has been every single one just picking up more about the game and learning more about myself and trusting in myself and my coaches and everyone around me. I'd say that's probably the number one thing I picked up throughout my pro career is that.
Okay, for sure. And facing somebody that's undefeated, does anything kind of stand out about Quentin to you, or do you kind of take this as just another matchup, another opponent that you're looking to, you know, add to your journey?
Um, Quentin, he's definitely like I said, he's undefeated, and I think he has like mostly all finishes. I think in both his AMI and pro, so he's definitely a brawler grappler type.
Hmm.
Mostly jiu-jitsu, but he showed in his most recent fight that he can stand, which I respect. But I love the matchup personally. Um, Obviously he thinks he's better, but I know I'm better,
Yeah.
and we get to do it on a stage like LFA on Vice TV is a pretty great place to showcase our skills.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's for sure a good way to get yourself, exposure, and I mean, being on that kind of scene and stuff like that is definitely a good way to get your name out there too. And going into this matchup as well, you say you enjoyed it and stuff like that. Do you think it kind of favors you more as well, like his matchup, his style as well, or do you kind of see it's pretty even?
I guess the matchup, I personally like it. I mean, I've wrestled my whole life, so I know what that grappling feel is like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not nothing new. I know he doesn't have the feel of some of the guys I've grappled with in my life. Like obviously he's good. He's good at what he does, but I mean, I don't think it's nothing I haven't seen before. So,
Okay. Okay, and then kind of going into your last three wins, your last fight, sorry. It ended in first round arm triangle in a submission. Does that kind of help carry momentum, knowing that on your record, you have three wins by submission now, and it's kind of building up more finishes. Does that kind of build up more momentum and confidence in you, or do you kind of feel like you're leveling it out and just like, having in your back pocket, understanding, your submission game and stuff like that is dangerous?
yeah, I feel like I can finish a fight standing on the ground off my back on top. Um, that's just something. I mean, matchups are different. I'm ready for it all. Like my
Yeah,
last opponent was a striker. I knew if this guy, if he got to the ground, I knew it was going to be over, and I felt that right away. Um, the same thing with the Russian dude I fought. I thought he was. My goal is to stand with him, and I thought he was going to wrestle me until we ended up, and I felt him, and I'm like, oh, I'm stronger than you. Like I'm going to put him on him now, and we
right.
ended that one an arm triangle. And I mean, throughout my amateur and pro career, like it's all been finishes. Like that's I guess that's one thing. Like being confident that I can finish fights, whether it be standing or on the ground. And I have a lot more to prove that um, people haven't seen yet, and you will see out of
Right.
me very soon in the next fight and fights to come. Like we're hitting new levels here, and it's only starting to show.
Okay, for sure. And in this camp, do you feel like there's any specific area to your game that you've kind of sharpened and developed a bit more, or do you kind of have you five focus on everything all around?
Mostly everything all around. I think I don't know. I feel like we got something different going on at the academy. We really study the game, fight IQ and everything into it better than most gyms.
Yeah.
So that's I mean, we're working. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's honestly, yeah, it's everywhere.
Okay, for sure. And you being 24 years old with a record of 5-1-1, where do you kind of see yourself at the end of 2026? What is kind of your goal?
See, I want to fight. Obviously, I got one in April. I'd like to fight in July and maybe get one in September and October.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, Contender Series is that time. So if I can rack up 2 wins before then, I mean, I'm not pushing it. I mean, I'm
Right.
ready to fight whenever, but the chips will fall in place when it's time for me to make the next step up, and I'm ready for it. So we got to say, if we win this next one, when we win this next one, and then hopefully fight again in July. I mean, that's 2 wins. I mean, that's pretty close to Contender Series
Right.
level right there at that record. At lightweight, at the lighter weights, it's a different story. I mean, if I was an 85 or like a heavyweight,
Yeah.
you'd already be in talks for Contender Series. They take guys at lower records, but the talent pool is a little deeper at the weights under 170. So, I mean, I'm taking it one fight at a time.
Okay, for sure. Getting into, you're speaking on kind of being on the radar, getting the next win and stuff like that. Being on that on April 17th, are you kind of looking to make a statement or are you kind of more focused on, just getting it done and just kind of letting the chips fall in place from there?
Obviously, I'm looking to make a statement every time I step in there, especially on a stage like LFA on TV. And I definitely feel this is a fight where I can make a statement and really, really turn some more heads.
Okay. And then like with LFA, right? Are you kind of like on a contract with them or is it kind of you're getting kind of like one fight at a time type thing?
One fight at a time.
Okay, for sure. And then kind of getting into it, right? Was your goal always to be, mixed martial arts, a fighter and stuff like that? Or was it kind of you did it kind of on the side just to learn and add to, you know, your attributes, or was it kind of always the plan to be an MMA fighter?
To be honest, it wasn't all part of my plan until probably my third or fourth amateur fight. Because I wrestled my whole life and I wrestled 1 year at North Dakota State.
Hmm.
And after I fell out of love with wrestling. And then, I was like, you know what, I'll start jujitsu, Muay Thai, and maybe I'll have a fight. I started training and like, oh, it'd be cool. I'll have one fight. We'll see how that goes. It'd be kind of cool to tell my friends and kids and grandkids, oh yeah, I had a fight in a cage once, and after my first one, I never looked back and kept going, and this will be my 13th fight total.
Okay. And then I see too, like recently you've been training at MMA, the MMA lab, and then you've been training at Red Hawk Academy and stuff like that. Has it just been kind of just like getting some work in with like other fighters and stuff like that, or is it kind of just
Yeah, me and my teammate Noah, we went out there for a week at the lab, just to get the training in to start camp out there.
yeah.
Is oh, sorry,
No,
to
you're good.
start camp out there was really cool, and making new connections, meeting new people. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the most important parts about the game too is the relationships you make
Right.
through the sport. So, I mean, last year we went to Vegas at this time to start camp, and now this one we started our camp in Arizona and
Okay.
transitioned back to Minnesota.
Okay, for sure. And do you kind of like try to do that every camp, or is that kind of something like new you're kind of doing?
It just found a place. I mean, we were gonna go to Vegas and train at Syndicate in the PI, but our teammate Castaneda's fighting a guy that is from Syndicate, so we
Oh,
decided to
okay.
take our
Somewhere else.
take it to Arizona, which was awesome and an amazing experience.
Right. Okay, for sure. And getting into it, when fight camp starts to get tough, what would you say is kind of something that motivates you or something that you have in the back of your head to kind of push yourself forward to, keep grinding and keep getting it done?
There's nothing else in life I'd rather be doing than this, even though it does suck at times. Um, Obviously, it's a grueling and grind, but the people that I see on a day-to-day basis and everything, I know I'm on the right path, the right journey.
Yeah,
And at this time in my life, there's nothing else that I'd rather be doing. And when I think about doing anything else, I can't fathom it.
for sure. Okay. And who would you say has been, a key part to your journey so far? Or what would you say has been a key part to your journey?
I guess I started my amateur career in Fargo, and then I moved to Minneapolis to train at the academy under Greg Nelson. So the two guys that have had the biggest influence on my career has definitely been Dylan Spicer and my coach now, Greg Nelson,
Hmm.
and my teammates. It's those are the biggest inspirations that I have.
Okay. And fighting for LFA at this stage in your career, how do you take it? What does it mean to you fighting for them in this stage?
I mean, it's awesome. They're the number one promotion outside of the big leagues. They put the
Yeah.
most guys in the UFC. They have very high talent. You see it almost every single LFA main card. It seems like the next fight for some of these guys is in the UFC or Contender Series. It happens every time. Every time I fight for these guys, it's someone that's on the same card as me is going to the UFC their next fight almost every
Right.
time.
Okay.
So it's I mean it's basically the triple A baseball. It's
Right.
right below
Follow
there.
through.
These guys are going to get called up at any time,
Yeah.
and that'll be me too. So and they prepare you for that. They do a really good job at promoting. They're very professional. They got everything dialed.
Okay. And then, being young in your career and stuff like that, does that kind of like give you a little sense of relief to kind of know you have a bit more time, or do you still kind of feel like you want to kind of get to the UFC as fast as you can, if possible, to make it to the UFC?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I am young, but it also like we're always in like a rush to, get to our goals and stuff. And
Right.
obviously, there's a greater plan than all this. I mean, since I am young, I'm not in a crazy hurry
Yeah.
just to make it to the UFC. And when I get there, um, I want to be ready and have and absolutely be mature. I mean, I'm only 24, and you look at a lot of the guys that are in the rankings. A lot of guys in UFC are late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
Not many guys under 25, 26 in the UFC. Um, and then those guys that have been in there, they got the experience, and that's one thing. That's one thing you can't buy. It's you
Experience.
only get experience by just skin in the game. You just
Okay.
got to be in it.
For sure. And April 17th comes, everything goes your way in fashion and stuff like that. How do you see it, or what would be the outcome for you?
Anyway, I get my hand raised, man. Anyway, on the ground, on the feet, wherever Quentin decides. To be honest,
Okay. And is there any message or anything you would like to say to anybody that's going to be watching you on the 17th?
you can always expect a dynamic. Every time I fight, you can always expect it to be exciting, dynamic. I mean, just that's what I just naturally do.
Okay, for sure. Well, it's pretty much all the questions I have for you. I appreciate you for giving me the time. Sherwin's MMA with Canon Swanson. Be sure to check him out on April 17th, ready to make another statement win for his fight. And be sure to catch him this year in 2026 as he's looking to make his strides and hopefully get that Contender Series call up. Good luck to you, Cannon, on April 17th, and thank you again for the opportunity to interview you, man.
Thanks for having me, Anthony.